When I walk through a jam, no one knows who I am.
When I walk through a jam,
Put your head on my chest,
put your head on my chest.
and I'm Mr. Success.
I'm Mr. Success.
Never closed me a deal.
Hello, welcome to the Inevitable
All at once
Radio
I'm
Show.
a wheel.
You are listening to William
Just your
Sumner.
head on my chest,
I am your host,
and I'm Mr.
and
Success.
welcome. Ponder this. Your reality today is based on neural strategies, neural recipes, mind psychology that you've been taught. Someone told you that life is fair or life is risky, life is good or life is dangerous. You are great or you are not so great. I had a brand new client in this week, professional ball player. He has since retired. And he was so proud. He was so close to his dad. And he said, you know, here's my recipe. My dad said it never matters how fast you are or how strong you are. It's how hard you work. And I've got this legendary work ethic. And I'm very proud of who I am. And he's obviously, as a professional, risen to the top of the sport. But he was never a superstar. And now that he's out in business life, he's definitely struggling, and he doesn't know how to take this world, this reality that's happening to him. And I ask this deepest question. If you're a little boy and you've been programmed since the day you've understood reality that it's not the fastest or the strongest that matters, it's how hard you work, what's the real program that both the father and the son understand? Because I'll tell you what, I will guarantee you Earl Woods never programmed Tiger that way. Because the only time you'd ever use that program is to a little boy that you don't think is the fastest and the strongest. And you believe their recipe has to be based on hard work. And this guy, his shoulders just slumped and his eyes got misty-eyed because he realized, wow, that's a strategy. I'm not that good. And in reality, when you really look at his statistics, he was that good. He was fast. He was strong. He had really good gifts. They didn't come out till he was a little bit older because as a young man, he was a little bit clumsy and a little bit in that gawky stage as he grew into his warrior body. But the program never changed. The recipe never changed. And most people, when you're looking at your strategies, your recipes, your truth, when you want to look at how do I change, traditional psychology, traditional learning approaches say, well, work really hard, put a lot of effort and intensity in, and maybe, just maybe, you can have some incremental change towards what you want. But again, I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to give you another way to look at this. I want you to go back in your memory. There was a TV show called Secrets of Magic Revealed. And they had the magician, and they had incredible David Copperfield level tricks and illusions. An elephant floating across the stage. One of them was the magician fell into a burning coffin. It exploded. Everybody gasped. There's a voice in the back of the auditorium. Hey! He turns around and look. There's the magician. And then there's this little sweet voice. Hey! And everybody looks back to the front, and there's this beautiful assistant arising out of the ashes that is the coffin. It's incredible stuff. And the magician wore a hood because they said if anybody ever knew who he was, they'd kill him. He's given away the store. And indeed, the rest of the show, they showed you the illusion of the elephant floating across the stage or the burning coffin trick. And if you've never seen the show, do this. Put a card trick in your mind. Have you ever learned a card trick from somebody and the first time you saw the card trick was like, wow, that's cool. Do it again. You try to figure it out. You can't. Do it again. Finally tell your friend, please show me the card trick. They always make you beg a little bit, but they teach you the card trick. And the same thing happens in this TV show. When you see the illusion revealed, two things happen. The first thing is you go, wow, the creativity that it took to create that illusion is far beyond your creativity. It's one of the reasons why you can't understand or comprehend the magic. Wow, what incredible creativity. And the second thing that happens, and it happens with the card trick, you're not impressed anymore. You know how the trick works, so when the elephant appears to float across the stage, pretty cool, but I'm not so impressed. Card trick, pretty cool. I'm not so impressed. I need more magic. And so many people, when faced with the deepest truth about how they're programmed to perceive and interact with reality, and then they've been taught, and this is an illusion, they've been taught, incrementally, you got to work hard to get these little changes. That's crap. That is not the way your mind works. The way you work is when you understand the illusion that is creating your life. It's not so scary, impressive, amazing, or special anymore. And when you begin to use different recipes, when you begin to think of life differently, then you can begin to create something that you've never had before, or for many of you, very rarely have you had something in your life, and that is greatness. That is inevitability. And the reason why many of you can't get there today, even though you read a book, you watch a movie, you hear a speaker, and you take notes and you think, wow, that's great stuff. Wow, that's a great point. Wow, I want to apply that in my life. And then you don't. There's a reason why. And here is the fundamental thing that happens for over 90% of you.
Thank you for listening to the Inevitable Podcast. Please visit our website for more information on this extraordinary coaching system at www.theinevitableyou.com. Then, sign up for your 2-week free trial of our membership to gain access to hundreds of hours of amazing content and tools just like this. Now, back to Bill.
And it lies again in this family of origin programming. And here's the truth. When you're a little kid, 3, 4, 5 years old, and it's a truth, by the way, if you've ever heard the truism, by the time you're 5 years old, you're baked in, you're done, you're cooked in the oven, stick a fork in you, it's true. There's some finishing work, but 95% of you's done. By the time you're 5 years old, you know the world is safe or good, or you know the world is dangerous and scary and bad and is out to get you. And you know whether you're introverted or extroverted or all these strategies and recipes that you're taught, you know them completely by the age of 5. And in this space, think of the most intense moment you're being taught this is when parents interact with you intensely. And it takes place like this. You're playing in your living room, you're playing in your backyard, you're following the rules, you're being a good kid. Mom and dad go, man, time to take a break, time to rest, or maybe I've got errands to do. So they're working about the house. Now, if you're a really great kid, maybe they check on you every 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 15 minutes. If you're a troublemaker, maybe they look in on you every 2. But they only look in on you and they only interact with you intensely, by the way, at the moment you create a boundary violation, at the moment you go to leave the yard or get up or do something. And in that space, the command sequence they begin the program with is, don't do that, stop that, don't go there. That's bad, that's dangerous. Stop what you're doing. And the metaphor is, don't spill the milk. So even when it's a safe moment and you're trying to succeed and your mom or dad says to you, don't spill the milk, here's what happens to that young brain. In order to comprehend the command, you've got to think of every possible way to spill milk so you know what not to do because you're trying to succeed at what you were taught. Don't spill the milk. So you think of 50 ways to spill milk. I could spill it that way. Ooh, no. Don't do that. Spill it that way. Ooh, don't. Ooh, that's a huge spill. Don't do it that way. And counterintuitively, if you're conscientious and you really, really want to succeed, you're going to work at a very, very high level. You're going to think of 200 ways to spill milk, not 50. So now as you walk over to the kitchen counter, you're thinking, okay, a meteor could come through the ceiling, rip the pitcher out of my hand. I've got to worry about meteors now. And the more conscientious you are, the harder it becomes to succeed at that command. And the feelings you have in your body that are associated with that are really crappy feelings because your imagery that's being created in your mind is around spilling milk. Everything changes when your mom or dad says, Billy, pour the milk carefully, please. Now everything is driven successfully. All the feelings associated are success. So in many respects, what happens to you is how you approach life, how you think about life, are these recipes and strategies for success. And not everybody is programmed that way. And when you grow up to be an adult, when your predominant commands are don't spill the milk, you'll go into a sales call and say, don't screw it up. You'll go into a moment and say, I don't want this to be a disaster. I don't want to ruin this. I don't want to mess this up. It all begins in this negative sequence. If you want to create pain in your life and you don't believe life is good, there's not a thing I can tell you that's going to change that. These technologies are available for everybody. You must really begin to look at the recipes that you're using to change and create your life. And think about this. When your recipe for life starts out with, okay, it's not a cup of flour, it's put a cup of dog poop in your life because that's who you are, that's what you get, that's what you deserve. That you're told you're broken. That you're told, no, you're not going to succeed. And if you ever even tried to break out of that program and you couldn't, it's the recipe. It's an illusion. It's not who you are. The past never, ever equals the future. It only equals the future when you wake up this morning and use the same thinking, the same thought process, the same everything that you've done your whole life. You must go to the problem's solution, to the solving of the problem in your future. And use the new thinking and the new feelings and the new expressions that are going to create the solution. You can't solve today's problems with today's thought patterns. That's what this technology is about. It is a message of hope. It is a message of greatness. It is the fact that you are inevitable, that you can achieve whatever it is that you believe you came here to achieve. It is not as hard as you think. It is not the struggle that you think it's been. It is easy. It is flow. It is truth. It is power. Now, I begin the show, the Inevitable Radio Show today, with the expression, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. And I highly encourage you to feel that, think that, breathe that, ponder that.
Thank you for listening to the Inevitable Podcast. Please visit our website for more information on this extraordinary coaching system at www.theinevitableyou.com. Then, sign up for your 2-week free trial of our membership to gain access to hundreds of hours of amazing content and tools just like this.